to Dr. Becky Smethurst of University of Oxford from John Cameron Weaver, Antelope Valley College of Lancaster, California. It's 3:52 p.m. West Coast time in California. It's the November 27th, 2023. Doctor, I got questions and I don't have an available astrophysicist at my college campus, nor a mathematician that can actually answer a question that's been driving me crazy ever since I saw one of your videos regarding black holes. I'm an amateur at this. Terminologies and equations usually drive me crazy, and I'm not that hip on that. But to put it in plain English, I had been a space nut and a sci fi nut for a long while in my life. And I've read a great deal a long time ago in different books, ancient as they are, of how we looked at the universe, and including your particular hobby, or shall I say profession. Now, in the video that you had regarding the West telescope, the Webb's telescope, which shall we call it, finding that supermassive black hole along with the Chandra, and somebody coming up with a reason or actually an explanation of something about a direct collapse. I have been trying to research this and my brain is not wrapping around it. As far as I understood concerning about black holes, they're cosmic vacuums that make the universe look like Swiss cheese. They suck everything because of the intense gravitational force, as Einstein had predicted with his equations. And physicists have been trying to get as much information as they possibly can through all the technology we have. To come up with an idea regarding a direct collapse because of gas, I'm sorry, it does not equate. If we're talking about a gravitational collapsar here, or as other people might call it in science fiction terms, a quantum singularity, where you have this massive force that's constantly eating matter, but also ejecting energy as well. My question for me to you is, how does a collection of gas equate in mass to create a tunnel or a whirlpool effect or a suction of sorts in space-time continuum that we have in our universe? How much mass are we talking about? And is this supposed to be solidified? Is this supposed to be this great mass that space cannot deal with, that it forces time to slow down as if it was a gravitational collapsar? I don't understand, Doc. Ever since I saw this a few days ago, I've been scratching my head off. I've been going through finals here at the college. It's associate's degree, but 57 years old, and I'm just trying to have a good time, but also trying to complete something over here. Long story on this one. I've had a love affair concerning about space flight, starting from Apollo, because I was born in Apollo days. And then we had Skylab. And then we had a space transport system, affectionately called the Space Shuttle. And the International Space Station. Yeah, I'm smacking the Russians on this one here because I understand about the Soyuz, Salyut, Mir. And that also connection that we had with the Salyut and the Apollo, actually the Soyuz and the Apollo, what was it, Deke Slayton, last of the Mercury astronauts on his only one blast off in an Apollo ship to shake hands with the Russians. And how was that in his career? He couldn't do it in the major career. I mean, he couldn't do it through past Mercury or Gemini. He couldn't even do Apollo or Skylab. But he does the little introduction into space. His only way of doing it. Well, what gets to me at this point, Doc, getting back to cosmology, having the telescopes that we have, one for the X-ray, which is Chandra, and the infrared, which is the Webb. Locating this particular UZ, I think, UZ, black hole, supermassive. They're not quite sure if this thing is direct collapse or if it's just a standard monster. Before you get into the technology, the technical terms at this point over here, just please spell it out in layman terms so I can figure this thing out. I even tried asking my math teacher about this one at the college. Math for liberal arts. Said before, I'm not exactly hip on equations these days. I didn't realize I was doing algebra in my head. We just got through our presentations we had to do for the professor. I was surprised that Understanding Math for Dummies was a pretty good presentation I did for them. But it would not answer the question concerning about gravitational collapsars, including black holes we're talking about here. I'm not just referring to the supermassives we have in our galaxies, including ours, Milky Way. I mean, if that is formed by gases doing that, instead of just starting it out with either a standard or almost a supermassive because of a star collapse upon itself and shrinking into non-existence. For a long time, Doctor, I have studied with other astronomers and scientists, engineers in my youth, and then learning about it along the way in my adulthood, reading different books, including King. Well, I'm sorry, not King. Hawkins. Sagan. Two guys I had a hell of a lot of respect for. Still do. Sagan helped get me really going on science. He really did. Opening up a kid to wonderful world about it. And then in the 8th and ninth grade of junior high, I had an Apollo engineer. Even furthered my interest. I'm grateful for those teachers. In this situation over here, shit, I like part of my language. I'd like to talk to Dr. Tyson about this little gemstone here, because if it is what he would agree to, if it's a direct collapse, then I got to pin him on this one as well. How does collection of energy molecules we have out of different energy sources be that dense in material and in weight where it forms that crushing gravitational force that bends space and time? How does gas in itself do that? And if we're talking about a direct collapse done by gas, where's the mechanism? Where's the mechanism we can actually measure on this one here? Because I'd like to know. Anyway, sorry for talking like a complete madman over here, but since watching a couple of your videos over here, I think I have turned into a madman. I thank you for your time, Professor.